Ladies and gentlemen, the combined agenda and regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council is hereby called to order on this date of August 7th, 2023. Please.
Howard. Eat that. Oh. Face. Present. On.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would appreciate it if the audience would all remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, and in honor of the retired chief of the Monroe Township Fire District Number 1 Volunteer Fire Department, Joseph Sensei. You may all be seated.
Detail. Order. On. Hey, so. Seat.
We thank you again for the honor of these fine young residents of our community leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I thank you so very much. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Miriam Cohen.
Present.
Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Michael Markle.
Present.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Councilman Terrence Manzura.
Here.
Township Clerk will please read the Sunshine Law into the record.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1, posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal building on December 30th, 2022, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2, printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 30th, 2022. 3, posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the council president.
Thank you. Chief Bianis, it is
Thank you, Council
a
President.
privilege and honor for you to handle this presentation of our Youth Academy graduates.
Thank you very much. First off, I'd like to recognize and thank the mayor and the council for keeping this program going. And also recognize the parents for getting their children there and also getting them here tonight. And we have in the audience also Chief Caprata from Jamesburg, whose son actually participated in the Youth Academy this year. This is a Youth Academy that's been going on. It came to, let me just start from the beginning. Detective DeGraw, when I was a captain and Chief Floyd was here and Mayor Tamburro, went to his lieutenant and asked if he could do this. It would not affect his workload whatsoever. And the support he's gotten from my men. I don't know if this is a better program for the children or if it's for my men. They love it and they love doing it and putting it on. And it's a privilege to see them and to see the dedication and all the guys who do it. It's something else to see. And I mean that, I stress that it's just as important to them as it is to the children who participate. With that being said, I'd just like to thank the mayor and council for letting it continue. It's a great program, and I believe it's going to be going on far into the future. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, most welcome, and it's our pleasure.
Just real quick, I say it's a youth academy. It's not a camp. It's not a summer camp for those that are not familiar with it. They basically go through a police academy, which is physical fitness and training and push-ups and in the heat. You remember how hot it was. and they're not going to spray parks or to the movies or bowling. They're doing it. And just for them to come back the second day is definitely the best thing that could happen. And they wound up doing it for a week. So I'm very proud of them. Thank you. Anybody would like the council like to address them?
I'm quite sure that all of our colleagues will want to address them.
I then turn it over to you, Council President.
Thank you so very much for that. We are indeed. I will go first this evening to say it is an honor for me that you were here. It is wonderful to see the youth of our town growing up into fine young men and women. I probably should say women and men. That might work better. I'm not really sure. But you bring honor to us. You bring dignity. And we know that you will do wonderful things with your life and continue to make your parents and family very, very proud of you. If you will notice, each one of us is smiling. And that's because we smile with joy at what you've already accomplished. I am going to see to my left. I'll start on my left. Councilwoman Siegel from Ward 2. Would you like to comment, please?
I would. Thank you. I just want to say first, congratulations to all of you. I was watching. I didn't really know too much about this program. So every day I was looking at the posts on Facebook about what you did day in and day out. And it is impressive what you had the opportunity to experience. So thank you to the police department for this great program. I saw you learn life skills, learning about CPR and different things, so internet, social media, internet safety. So there was a lot of good things that you will take with you as you move on. So I just wanted to congratulate you all for a job well done, and congratulations to your parents too. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Markell from Ward 1, please.
Yeah, I would just like to congratulate all you young people. I wasn't too aware of what the program entailed either till I read up on it the last couple of weeks. I hope you enjoyed it. As the chief said, the police who helped you out enjoyed it. And I'm just really proud of the kids today, especially you guys who went through this program. Congratulations on getting through it, and just keep up the good work. Thank you, guys.
Councilman DePiero, please. Ward 3.
Thank you. Congratulations to the men and women that just got this accomplished. You're the future for Monroe and for our community, and also the parents. As our chief said, the first day was definitely the question: are you going to make it back to second? But you guys all came back and you stuck it out, and hard work pays off. So we just want to say thank you. We want to thank the police for doing this, and also our administration for supporting it. So good luck with your bright future, and congratulations.
Council Vice President Van Zura, please.
Thank you. I look out to the audience and I see 10 young people seated, very proud. You guys should be proud of your accomplishment. This was not a nothing. This was a something. And it's something you'll probably always remember, believe it or not. You know, you'll always remember, how about that year in the summer that we did this? And you got to stick to it. And it proves that you have discipline. It proves that you have ability. And these are the kind of things that will help you later on in life. The other thing that I notice is I see a lot of proud parents out there. And I think that's just great, because I have, 2 children of my own. My kids are old now, but a lot of times parents, we like to live through our kids. We like to see them and know that our kids are on the right path. You guys going through this and accomplishing what you did shows you're on the right path. So keep up the good work. Continue doing what you're doing. Work hard in school and do whatever you have to do, and continue to make your parents proud. But thank you so much. Proud to have you here.
Mr. Mayor, this is not a presentation. You don't want to be included in chatting about.
Just a couple comments. So are they at ease? Because they're very stoic right now. But that did not even elicit a smile. I got one smile over here. If I can address them. So who wants to be in law enforcement when they grow up? No. Listen, they're modest. I see a couple fingers going up, so we're good. Parents,
as Councilman Van Zura said about being a parent and having a lot of pride in that. And, you know, all of the council members, we all talked about, you know, how proud and pride, and it's okay. It's okay to have that pride in what you do and what you've accomplished. You've done things young men and women your age haven't even dreamt of doing, getting up that early, and the commitment that you made to yourself in what you did. So Monroe, the parents are proud of you. Monroe is proud of you, and you should be proud of yourselves of what you have accomplished. Congratulations. And we hope to perhaps see you one day get sworn in over here as a police officer for the Township of Monroe. Thank you.
Thank you all. You know how strongly this council supports our police department. Seeing these students is further evidence of why we do. And we are indeed grateful to all of them for the work that they have done. And Mr. Weinberg, a 2-minute recess? A 2-minute recess so people can take pictures, please, and then we will reconvene for the rest of our meeting. Thank you all again. You give us great pleasure and pride. Thank you. Please, at whatever
6:47.
6:47, we will move to item 6 on our agenda, which is the ordinances for second reading at the August 7th meeting. It's Proceed.
Ordinance 06-2023-020, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,239,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,131,400 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. 06-2023-021, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of equipment for the water sewer utility in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $600,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $600,000 bonds or notes of the Township to finance the cost thereof. 06-2023-022, bond ordinance providing for improvements to the police building and the expansion of the parking lot in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,904,700 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Item 7, ordinance for introduction, please.
Ordinance 08-2023-023, ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to assume an access easement to lot 21.04 on lot 21.02, block 60, and accept the dedication of lots 21.17 and 21.18 in block 60 for stormwater management purposes.
Thank you. Item 8 is the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the August 7th, 2023 regular meeting. That is R8 2023-183 through R8 2023-208. Would all council members please review these resolutions, and if there are any that you wish to remove from the consent agenda, Mr. DePiero, please.
Thank you. R8 2023-184. R8 2023-191. R8 2023-203. R8 2023-204. R8 2023-205. R8 2023-208.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any concerns about okay, fine? Good. Thank you so all. Now we will move to public comments. Please remember, limited to agenda items only, 5 minutes per speaker. I have a motion to open the public comment section.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, if you wish to address the council at this time regarding any items, please come to the microphone now. Your name and address for the record, please.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. On the agenda, there are several affordable housing liens to be removed. From the last time I was at the affordable housing meeting, it was said that the liens that are on there, if the property is sold and they go to closing, that those liens would be repaid by the owners of the unit. That's correct, right?
Mr. Weinberg, please.
They're,
Oh,
if I
sorry.
can, if you,
No, go ahead.
so they're repaid, but there's a period of time that after, I believe, 10 years, then they're forgiven.
Right, but if there is a lien still on the property and the property is being sold and it's less than the 10-year time frame.
Pro rata amount, but yes, there's a schedule that says.
Correct.
Repaid.
So whether it's $5 or $50,000, there,
Or nothing, it would
That-
say in the resolution.
right, but it will be, my question is, it will be repaid to the township municipality. Okay, so my additional question is, does that money go into the general fund or does that go back to the Affordable Housing Fund?
Affordable Housing Trust Fund. They're trust fund monies.
That is correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that, the audit of that is available to the public, right?
Yes, that's
When that
part of our
money-
municipal audit, correct.
Right. Okay, for now, that's it. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Anyone else wishing to address this, please? Kunkelman, your name and address for our records, please.
George Kunkelman, 5 Keller Court, Monroe. Couple of questions in the consent resolutions. 194, which is the bus. What's the bus to be used for? Nothing indicates.
Mr. Weinberg, that bus is for?
Yep, that's a 20-passenger bus for our senior and disabled transportation system. It replaces Bus 90 from 2011, which had over 150,000 miles on it.
Thank you. And then I have a question about, also in the consent agenda, item 200. The item is for water main relocation. And I was just curious what there is about a traffic signal that requires relocation of a water main.
Mr. Stroin to?
Yeah, I might ask Joe Stroin to come in or Mark to jump in. I can give you a quick overview, but this is the Mounts Mills Old Bridge Englishtown traffic light. So Mark, do you want to start, and Joe, you'll add if there's anything.
Council President, this is an existing water main that has to be relocated within that intersection due to the new improvements that are being constructed by the county. It includes stormwater, the stormwater management system. The township's responsible for relocation of their utilities, so that's what's being relocated, the water main.
So there's new storm going in, and it was designed in a way that triggers us relocating our water line.
There's a conflict, and certainly Joe can add a little more to it if you want to get into the details of the actual relocation.
Mr. Stroin, you want to do that?
You're going to have to turn it on because it was, and then move a little bit away.
I hope so.
Okay. Yes, this was a project, Mr. Gunkelman, that was actually approved for construction by the county 6 years ago. And there was a number of different things that had to take place. And the DEP recently said that permit to construct expires in December of this year. And as a result of that, the stormwater improvements that were slated when we went out there and actually did a marking of our mains to see if there was a conflict, we found out that there was. And again, through a significant amount of discussion with the county and their engineers, it was clear that they were not going to budge as it relates to trying to redesign their storm system, and that we as a municipality were required to actually relocate our mains. So in the end, we have to relocate 600 feet of main, 200 feet on actual Old Bridge Englishtown Road, and about 600 or 400 feet on Mounts Mills.
Thank you.
That seems excessive.
It's a pretty elaborate, just to add one more thing, it's a pretty elaborate stormwater management system underground that the permit requires for a significant amount of water there. So
600 feet down from the intersection is almost in another town.
I mean, it's part of the stormwater management permit. Yeah.
Anyone else wishing to address the council at this point, please? Seeing and hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close the public comment section.
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. I'd like a motion to adjourn the agenda meeting, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero,
Yes.
Councilman Markel,
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel,
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura,
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes, meeting is adjourned. Agenda meeting is adjourned. Regular meeting is called to order by motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call. Hello?
Yep, I'm just writing down my notes. Sorry. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Wow.
Tough crowd.
Councilman Markel.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zura.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
That's what you get me, because that's a get to answer you.
Don't worry,
See,
I'll
so you
get
got
you
me.
next
You'll get
time.
me the next time around. May I have a motion to approve the payment of claims per the run date of August 2nd, 2023, please?
So moved.
Second on that.
Second.
Council President, I had a question about this.
Yes, sir.
I noticed on the bill list, it said there was Middlesex County GIF, and then it said protest. So can we get an explanation on that?
Oh, I'll turn right to either the attorney.
Yes, the Middlesex County GIF was the longtime GIF for the county. It developed some I'm sorry, is it not on? Sorry. The Middlesex County GIF was the longtime GIF for the township. Township has moved now to the Garden State GIF. The Middlesex County GIF has gotten into financial trouble, and the state of New Jersey is trying to work their way through it. The initial position of the state was that any of the municipalities that were in the GIF for the last however many years, going back 15 or 20 years, would have to pay an added assessment. All of the municipalities have paid those in protest because as we're gathering information, we're determining whether or not there's an opportunity for us to either avoid some of the payments or to lessen the payment.
So this will be our second payment.
Correct.
And the total that's owed is like 1.2 million is what we're billed?
Correct. And it's paid out. And the reason that we made the payments is because under the state's initial order, we would have had to pay it all at once with interest if we didn't accept the payment plan. So we accepted the payment plan and then paid it under protest, which is what all of the municipalities have done.
So when we say protest, is this going to be a lawsuit, obviously?
We anticipate that there's going to be one. I think it's going to be a number of municipalities that are going to be in it.
Okay. So hopefully we recoup this money.
Correct.
Hopefully. Okay.
Madam
Thank you.
President,
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
So the people in the audience understand what GIF is. That's the Joint Insurance Fund that different municipalities use to pay claims, correct?
Correct. It's effectively the township's insurance company.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you both. May I now have a roll call, please, on this motion?
Councilman DePiero?
Abstain.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Ordinances for second reading.
No, number 3,
What is
please.
this now?
Number 3.
Number 3, approve our minutes of the following meeting as written and presented from June 26, 2023. Motion.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call again, please.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yeah.
He did good.
I was good. Next item is our ordinances for second reading, 06-2023-020, which for bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,239,000 and therefore and authorizing the issuance of $2,131,400 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof. I would like to have a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Anyone wishing to address the council regarding this ordinance, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public portion. Please.
So
Motion.
moved.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like a motion to adopt ordinance 06-2023-020, please.
Motion to adopt.
Thank you.
Second.
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 Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Ordinance is adopted. 06-2023-021. Yes, please. You can read this.
Yes. Bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of equipment for the water sewer utility in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $600,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $600,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Thank you. A second on that,
Second.
please. Yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone wishing to address the council regarding this ordinance, please come forward now. Again, seeing and hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public?
So moved.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt 06-2023-021, please?
So
Motion.
moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Motion is adopted. Ordinance is adopted.
Ordinance 06-2023-022, bond ordinance providing for improvements to the police building and the expansion of the parking lot in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,904,700 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open a public hearing, please?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now open. Wishing to address the council, please come forward.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. This bond ordinance is talking about, well, nearly $2 million. Is this for construction costs or design costs or both? What's involved in this ordinance?
Mr. Weinberg,
This
you
is
want to expound
this
on
is
that?
limited to hard costs, so just construction, not design costs.
Oh, finally. Okay. And so is this also going to equipment or just the actual hard costs of doing the expansion and the lot?
This would be the expansion in the lot. It does include some build out within the offices,
Right.
but not necessarily like specific furniture that you would move in after.
Okay. And the designs for this have already been financed?
Correct.
The soft?
There's a separate item on this agenda. We already completed the design work. There's an item on this agenda for the bidding and construction phase on it. So the design is basically complete. There's a couple tweaks we're making, but we're pretty much done with that.
And okay, but the bidding, the design was to put the specs out, but we paid for the design of that first, right?
Right. First, we design the project, and then we move into the bidding and construction phase.
So there was a cost for the design.
Correct.
And now there's a cost for the people who designed the project to put out the specs.
To put out the specs and then construction management. Correct.
There'll also be the construction
The
management?
inspection, it's similar.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else wishing to address the council on this? Please come forward. You're fine. Just have a seat, please. Welcome. Your name and address for our records, please.
My name is Doreen Morris. I live at 134 Belushio Street, a lifelong resident of Monroe Township. And I'm not sure if this is where I address this.
This is this is about the bond ordinance to build a parking lot for the police department. So if you have some general comments, that's at the end of
Okay,
later
so
on.
I'll wait till the end then, hon.
That's fine, and you're welcome to come back again, of course. That's fine. Anyone else wishing to address this on bond ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, I have a motion, please.
Motion.
To close. Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 06-2023-022?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Ordinance for introduction.
Zero.
Yeah. You can-
08-2023-023. Ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to assume an access easement to lot 21.04 on lot 21.02, block 60, and accept the dedication of lots 21.17 and 21.18 in block 60 for stormwater management purposes.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Ordinance has been introduced. We move to the resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda. Patty, would you please enumerate all of them?
Certainly, with the exceptions of Resolution 184, 191, 203, 204, 205, and 208.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second on that motion, please?
Second.
Thank you so much. As I turn the page again, may I have a roll call on this, please?
Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes. Now, may we have a motion for the resolutions that we remove from the consent agenda?
R184, R191, R203, R204, R205, and R208.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero.
Abstain.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
No problem.
Mr. Weinberg, you're on.
Yes, thank you very much, Council President. I'll begin with Joe Stroin providing an update over at the BFI Force Main. Joe, if you would.
I am very pleased to announce that starting on July 5th, the pump station in Force Main was put in operation. We've pumped nearly 1 million gallons of leachate directly to our Middlesex County Utilities Authority, and all trucks through the Inwood Estates neighborhood have ceased since that time. So again, thank you to the council, the mayor, for their support in getting this project done. And right now, the project is operating exactly as designed.
Thank you very much, Joe. Much appreciated. Moving on, just a couple of items I'd like to comment on. First of all, just a reminder, you probably saw some notes earlier this week, tax bills are scheduled to be delivered to the post office tomorrow. So the expectation is, depending on delivery, that you should have them a day or two after that. The due date, just to highlight, is September 6th. I believe that's a Tuesday. So again, tax bills going out tomorrow, due date September 6th. Another item I wanted to highlight is the energy tax receipts. As some of you may know, municipalities have been collectively fighting since the state took some of the energy receipts tax going back probably 17 years ago. That fight last year got Monroe an additional $125,000. And that fight continued this year to try and bring everyone up to full funding. And I know the mayor joined with 400 other mayors on that. And so we'll get an additional $125,000 that'll go into next year's budget from that. So another positive development on that. We have a shared services agreement with South Brunswick on here, which is always excited regarding mobile data terminals. Our Clean Communities grant is on here for $118,000, which is up $13,000 from last year. So a positive development. The local recreation grant came through this month, so it's on the agenda for $76,000. It's the first time they're doing that, and our grant goes towards putting 2 new volleyball courts, sand volleyball courts over at Veterans Park. And then just excited about the 2023 road projects. Mark will talk a little bit more about that, but some important improvements around the town and significant investment. So those are my comments, Council President.
Thank you, Council President. I'll try to give you a quick update on a few of the projects. Tonight, we awarded a Spotswood Englishtown Road drainage improvements. That's for the Romero Court at the intersection. Once we're completed with that project, Middlesex County will be coming in and repaving the area of Spotswood Englishtown Road. Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, that was previously awarded. That project is getting ready to start, and that's the stretch of Spotswood Gravel Hill from Benny Lane to Machaponix. And that should be starting within the next 2 weeks. Volleyball courts has started. That's at Veterans Park and Patriots Park, so that work has begun, and that is moving forward. Let's see, Old Bridge Englishtown, Mounts Mills Road, traffic signal improvements. Middlesex County has awarded the contract to BlackRock Construction. BlackRock's work should be starting after Labor Day, so sometime in September. And lastly, the 2023 Monroe road paving projects. They've completed the concrete work and the milling and paving has begun. They actually started today over at Christina Court, Cheryl and Jenna Court. And then they'll be moving from there onto Fawn Court, Tall Maple, and Oak Hill Drive. And that's my report.
Thank you very much. Start with our council reports. And I would ask Mr. Markel, Councilman Markel, Ward 1.
I was told I have to speak into this microphone. Am I okay now? Am I okay? Okay. I just want to reiterate on something I said at one of the meetings about honoring veterans 365 days a year. I know we honor them on Memorial Day. We honor them on Armed Forces Day. But I just want to reiterate that we always have to think about our veterans and our armed forces people. I just want to tell you that the veterans housing that's going up on Half Acre Road is wonderful. There's 80 units going up of affordable housing specifically for veterans, which is about something I totally think we need to do in this country. I do just want to tell a little story about what happened to me in July. A friend of mine's son was a 30-year veteran of the Navy. He fought in Iraq, he fought in Afghanistan, and he retired after 30 years as a master chief. He's a deep-sea diver. Well, he called me from the South Pacific in the beginning of July, and he told me he recovered a body of a young man, 24 years old, that went down during World War II. And it took 80 years to recover this gentleman's body. And they brought it back to Nutley, New Jersey. So I decided that in the honor of Mr. DePetta, Anthony DePetta, and my friend who discovered his body, I was going to go to the funeral. And I met a bunch of Navy people who gave him a salute at the cemetery. And I just want to say that we really have to remember our veterans and remember these boys that are still missing in action all the way back to World War I, I guess, when you get down to it. But that's all I wanted to say. I just want to relay that message as something very important to us here in Monroe and the United States. So just remember, please remember our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Siegel, please.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. So I just want to share a couple updates, but I want to start out with just how nice this summer has been around the community. There's so many different activities that everyone can participate in, starting with the 4th of July fireworks. National Night Out was amazing. If you didn't have an opportunity, make sure you catch it next year. The Thursday Farmers Market, it's wonderful every week. There's so many different vendors there. And it's just been nice meeting people and seeing people really enjoying some of these great things that we work on to make sure that we have in our community. And I did want to also comment on the volleyball courts. I think it's wonderful. I know a lot of families have been looking for the volleyball courts to be built, so it's nice to see that they're starting and we're going to have those soon. And as Mr. Weinberg had mentioned about the Clean Communities grants, I think that's wonderful too, that we continue to get more money each year from the prior year, because it does help our recycling in our DPW areas as we clean up and keep our community clean, litter free, all the different events they plan, but also helps our environment and helps us meet those green initiatives that we try to accomplish in our town. And paving, I think it's wonderful, all the paving that we're doing. I know recently we did the EMS parking lot in here at the municipality. There's so many people. These are heavy trafficked areas, especially here when people come in to make payments or visit clerk's office or whatever they're doing around here. So that's nice to see. And I also did want to share a couple updates from some of the commissions that I liaison to. They've been very busy this summer and throughout the year. Some of their bigger events are coming up in the fall. So I just wanted to bring attention to them. The Environmental Commission has their Green Fair that's sponsored with the Monroe Township Green Health and Wellness Fair. It's coming up in September 23rd at the high school. Our Cultural Arts Commission always has so many wonderful programs throughout the library and throughout the summer. I hope people have had the opportunity to catch a summer concert, because we've had several, and this week is our last one that we're having. But I'd like you to mark your calendars. October 15th, they're doing a wonderful performance called Outrageous, which I think they did years ago, and it's an amazing performance, and it's for everyone, all different ages. So if you can even look it on YouTube, get a little preview, but mark your calendars. It should be a great event. And our Historic Preservation Commission, they're continuing with their Dye Farm tours. They have September and October left, and they also have the vintage baseball game in September. So that is on September 9th at 12 p.m. at Dye Farm. So do mark your calendars. These are all wonderful events that our commissions do put on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman?
Thank you. Well, I attended a few of the concerts in the park on Thursday, and the last one is, as Councilwoman Siegel said, is this Thursday at 6 p.m. They're it's a very good event. It brings the community together, and I just want to thank everybody that made it possible for us to have those concerts. It's really relaxing for a change, and it's something that everybody should attend. We also attended the 4th of July, which I want to thank everybody for that. We had a lot of forces out, DPW, police, first responders. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that attended, and also the staff that kept everybody safe. As the veterans had the breaking the ground ceremony, which was really, as my fellow councilman said, close to our heart, because that's something that everybody has a veteran in their family or a neighbor or a friend, and it's something that we definitely must support continuously. And it's a beautiful project that's just breaking ground, and we'll stay close to that. And it's something that we should be all proud of, because, like I said, everybody knows a veteran or should support our veterans every day, not just on the holidays, every day. I attended Judy Olbryst's luncheon on August 1st. 2023 here, and it's 53 years to the day that Judy decided to help our community as a volunteer, and then retiring as she had a walkout that day, and as the director. And as I said to Judy, big shoes to fill, but something that she took care of all of us for many, many years. And she sacrificed for her family as a volunteer, and then also as a paid director, which something that it's going to be hard to see another person in that spot. But she trained everybody well, and I'm sure our staff will be able to fulfill all of those calls, which is a job in itself. But they always do, and they never let us down. So I just wanted to appreciate, Judy and also her staff, and say that I thank her, and hopefully she'll be here in September. We'll have her at the council, and hopefully we can give her the key to Monroe, because that's something that she definitely deserves and she earned. I wanted to talk about DPW. These guys continuously do a job to keep our roads safe and keep our between snow plowing, picking up bulk rate garbage, and picking up leaves and everything in between, storm after storm. But the sickle bar was out quite a bit this summer already, and just doing a really good job down Federal Road and down all our streets that are over 150 miles of pavement that they have to take care of. And we have 2 sickle bars, and they're out there, and I tell you, they did a great job, and I just wanted to say thank you. MTUD, the hydrant painting. I know Joe and I had a conversation. There's a lot of hydrants out there that can use some maintenance between the weeds and the painting. So do we have any summer help for MTUD in this past budget? Is there any summer help?
Joe, do you want to respond to that?
Why don't you?
Councilman, there's no summer help in this year's budget, but again, we have evaluated it, and we're for sure going to add it in the 2024 budget.
Thank you. Because we just have the Boy Scouts help out, and it's something that it's easy, it's easy to paint the hydrants, but we also want to keep them safe out on the streets. But it's something that's needed continuously. I know our fire companies pay a large amount of money each year to MTUD, and it's something that, I definitely want to see next year. We definitely have to have summer help. We should have had it this year. I don't know what happened. I know DPW has some summer help, and we definitely need it at MTUD. Then I had a question. We received some emails this past month in reference to the schools with the voting locations and the polls and the safety issues that the schools have concerned, because they do have children in schools during elections. Who actually makes the determination? Who decides where these locations are?
Board of Election.
So the Board of Elections makes that determination?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's something that, think about everything that's been going on, and unfortunately, we see all these shootings and everything, and thank God not here, but we have safety in our schools, and it's something that it's big concern as you have these polls in the schools. So, and you have children in the schools at the same time, and now the Board of Ed is going to have it in April, their election, which is going to be a school day when they have their election as well. So I just didn't know who made that determination after receiving those emails back and forth. So the Board of Election does that.
And the Board of Education was the one who decided to move it from, that's a Board of Education.
Yeah, they decided on their own. We had nothing to do with that. Thank you. I attended the League of Women Voters in this room. They had a nice presentation about plastic bags, and it's been over a year, and how much it saved the landfills, how many tons it was saved by not having plastic bags. And it was a very informative meeting that they do it themselves. They're all volunteers, and the League of Women Voters put a nice presentation, and hopefully we can get it out on some kind of videos. I don't know if I don't think our server is purchased yet, either from the Board of Ed or from us, because I can't watch the meetings, none of the meetings live anymore. So I'm assuming we're working with the Board of Ed on trying to figure out who's going to buy the server so we can get back up live. But the League of Women Voters had a good meeting, and that should be something televised so everybody can see it. There was 19 people in the room, but there's a lot more people that should really see that presentation. I also attended at the rec center. The police put on a safety and a scam awareness, and I wanted to say Detectives Zema and Detective O'Brien did the presentation. There was only 11 people there, but the questions that they asked and also the information that was provided is very good information. I know they did it at the senior center. They said they had about 70 people, but that's another thing that should be put out there to the residents, and the police officers, the detectives did a very good job, and they informed us on how fast the car can make it from here to Newark in less than 30 minutes. And it's incredible how they follow it on their GPS, and they follow everything along. And it's just amazing to listen to the stories that they tell without giving you names. And it makes us aware to be precaution more than anything, but also to watch what's going on around your communities, watch what's going on. If you see something, they want you to make the call. No call is a bad call, because you're looking out for your neighbor's safety, your safety, and your community safety. So just, our police do a fine job, but just let them know what's going on in the community, because they can't be all within the 42 square miles. But they did a great presentation. Also, the green team, I'm on the green team as the liaison. Saturday, as Councilwoman Siegel said, it's September 23rd from 10 to 3 at the high school. National Night Out, most of us attended that. It brings the community together with the first responders. And it's just amazing how, I mean, we even had our business administrator making hot dogs and passing along. I shot a picture of him and I sent it to him. I said, you know, like to see him work a little past 5 o'clock, and that was really nice. That was really nice.
Feel free to stop by.
That was really nice to see him. I took a picture of him, and him and I know he's always working Saturdays and Sundays too. But that was nice, Alan, and the community comes together with all the first responders. That's what it's all about. And being a fire commissioner since 2004, our past chief that we lost recently, Joe Sensal, JJ, he was the first chief when I became a commissioner, and he was very, very knowledgeable. He was very helpful. He owned First Due Towing, which he worked with the police for many years, and he was just a huge asset for the community and volunteer, lifetime member, volunteer. You just couldn't say enough. I couldn't say enough about him, and he's just he's a big loss to the community, and also condolences to his family, because he was definitely a good man, and sad to see him leave. But he was a good guy. He taught us a lot, the volunteers and also the commissioners. I had a question. I noticed that we have some drainage pipes and an excavator sitting at the 9/11 Memorial Park. So I had a question on who's doing this job and what the cost is for the drainage.
Mark, I don't know if you want to, can everybody hear me? I don't know if you want to jump in, but I believe our DPW is doing that drainage work at the park.
Yes, DPW is working there. I don't have all the details of what they're doing and the cost, but they're doing it in-house.
So it's all being done in-house. Right. All right. I pass there every day, so maybe I'll just stop. And I also spoke to Mark, and I sent a few emails in reference to the railroad tracks on Schoolhouse Road and Forsgate Drive. As I was talking to Mark on the phone, and it sounded like he hit a pothole, and he went over the railroad tracks at Forsgate and says, "I'll be calling the county." So I just wanted, can we get an update on those 2 railroad crossings?
Council President, I don't have an update. I haven't gotten responses to my emails, but I'll certainly follow up with you, Councilman, when I get a response.
Thank you. Because you know how it works with the railroad. It takes us years to get something done. So if you can start now, hopefully we'll get it done soon. I saw that BFI letter that went out, and our mayor sent out this BFI letter to our residents in Inwood Estates, and I'm sure it's on the social media. I just wanted to say that it's teamwork, that we all work together. And we don't put politics in the way of teamwork for the community. And I just wanted to say that not only did the mayor do work on that project, but our council did also, and our administration did, a lot of our administration. And I know we're in litigation, and the big question now that we have safety is out of our, our concern is safety for sure. And the residents are safe and the community is safe. Now we got to talk about the reimbursement that we talked about from many years ago, that BFI is going to reimburse us the cost. So that I won't say anymore, because I know our attorney is handling that, and he'll keep us informed and hopefully keep our residents informed on that lawsuit. I noticed there's a couple patches, one being on Schoolhouse and Primeville, MTUD patches that are base paved. And we got school coming up, so hopefully we can get some top pavement. Matchaponics is another, a lot of sewer manholes have just base asphalt. And this patch out here, I know you guys were out here till like 2, 3 in the morning working, but now the curb needs to be replaced. Now you have to take out the base and shelf back for the top. Hopefully we'll get that done before school starts, especially at this intersection. And along with striping, I sent a couple emails in reference to striping. And then my last comment would be, like I said, about if you can give us a report about the servers, I'd appreciate and letting the public know, because I get calls, but they can't see the meeting. And you know, we all do. And all the meetings are not being televised. We went from 65,000 to 35,000. You know, we deal in millions of dollars here. So we need to get the project done. You know, we need to get we need to get our film of our residents need to see what's going on. And that's all I'm going to say. So thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Just to comment on that, all of our meetings are on YouTube and available at any moment. We have the Board of Ed, you know, who maintains the server, and my understanding historically and in my experience here that we've split stuff with them. I know our communications person had reached out to say that, you know, we're on board to move forward on that, so we can certainly follow up with them as well and see what the latest is on the server.
Thank you.
But we, you know, that's for the cable only.
Yes.
Right now, everything that we do, including this live, and if you go home, you could watch it on YouTube at any time.
Thank you. Council Vice President Van Zorn.
My turn already?
It's already your
Charlie,
turn.
you done?
I'm never done.
Anything else?
I'm never done.
I don't want to cut into your time.
No, I send emails constantly. I'm never done.
I know you know. First thing I want to say before I have a couple of comments, but first thing I want to do is I want to thank our business administrator, Alan Weinberg. You know, when you guys come here to these meetings and you'll see this agenda with all these different things on it, a whole list of items and stuff, you got to understand that we're very fortunate because before the meeting ever happens, our business administrator and our other officials will sit down with each of the council members and explain to us exactly what's on the agenda, what each and every one of these items is about, so that when we come to the meeting, we can kind of get through the meeting without a whole lot of extra, you know, questions and things. So sometimes it might seem, you know, people sometimes say, oh, well, you see the questions come up, you vote yes. Yeah, that's because we already know what the issues are. We've discussed them and we're able to make an intelligent decision without having to go through it a second time. So I just want to say that, and they do a great job of explaining everything. Second thing is the BFI landfill. You know, and Charlie's right, we all worked together on this. It was really the whole, I remember standing out there and some really hot nights, mosquitoes are biting, and we're out there in the neighborhood. But you know what? You really got to give a tip of the cap to our mayor, Steve DeLina, because the mayor was the one that spearheaded this whole thing. He had only been in office as mayor for a very short time when this problem came up and people were like, we're getting this smell. We're getting this stink. It's nauseous. I can't take it. You know, I'm getting sick at night and everything. And we went out there and we did it the right way. We didn't just try to pretend that we knew what was going on. We hired engineers. We hired engineers who were specifically trained with this type of stuff, and they came up with the plan. And the plan was to take all of the leachate and put it through a forced main so that it didn't mix up with any of our other sewer type items and other things, which they determined was probably the result. And, you know, we stuck with it, and it wasn't always easy. BFI wasn't always on our side. The state wasn't always on our side, but we moved forward and we got it done. So thankfully, the residents of Inwood will not have to deal with this issue ever again. And we went through the whole time. They had trucks coming up and down the street every day or every few days. And, you know, it was not easy for those people. So it was a great job, and it was teamwork to get it done. But I think really under the mayorship under the leadership of the mayor, did a really nice job. So also want to mention, I'm very happy to see the police headquarters is finally getting expanded and built on. It's very much needed as the town grows and we hire more police officers. We always try to give them the best facilities to make them do what they do. We brag about how we're like the second safest town in the state, but it doesn't happen by accident. It happens with the leadership of those in charge, with the chief and the other, you know, the captains and stuff. But we want to make sure that they have what they need in order to make sure that we're safe. What makes this project special also is it's not only the town that's building it, We also were able to get $2.5 million from the state to go toward the construction, which is really a big plus. And it's those little things like getting a grant here and a grant there. That's the kind of stuff that helps us keep the taxes down. That's why we haven't raised taxes in 3 years. The Veterans Housing Project, another great thing to see. I mean, I think, Charlie and Mike and everybody was saying, you support your veterans. Nobody wants anything more. These people that were out there fighting for us and helping to keep our country safe. They're not asking for too much, but let them have a place where they could live with dignity and not have to pay through the roof. And I think that's another great project. I'm very proud that our town's able to go ahead with that and provide at least an extra 80 units. Nice to see the volleyball starting to get built. As everybody remembers, we went through the master plan. We were one of the few towns that has a master plan and allowed each of the residents over a period of about a year or two to put in their comments. Well, people wanted extra recreational facilities. We have a lot of extra recreational facilities coming, and this is one of the first ones that we're able to put forth. So a couple extra things here. Later on, there's other things on the list that we'll get to. But again, we're doing this all while keeping within our budget also, which is a nice thing. National Night Out. I feel like it's probably getting repetitive because everybody brought it up, and how could you not? The thing that I like there is when you have the police and you have the fire department and the citizens are out there and it's not an emergency situation, you get pulled over by a police officer when you're driving. Usually it's because you did something wrong and there's an automatic adversarial sort of relationship. And here you get to meet all the officers when it's not adversarial in any way. And you get to learn a lot of the stuff that they do and a lot of the many things they accomplish. And the same goes with the fire department and the EMS and all of our other first responders. And I also, while we're talking about first responders, Judy Obris is just a legend in her own time. What she has done for this town, we can't help but all be thankful for her. So very happy about that. Just a couple of other items. Farmers Market has been great on the Thursday afternoons. If you can get there, they have a lot of good stuff. And even if you don't get there, we got Farmer Al's, we got Pops, we got a few other places around here, our local farmers. I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of the fresh corn on the cob and the Jersey corn. These are things that you can't get anywhere else around. I'm telling you, even when you go south, it's not the same. This year seems to be a bumper crop for really good stuff. So do yourselves a favor if you like that kind of thing. Get over and any of our local farmers markets that sell that type of stuff. It's really, really good this year. Lastly, I'm just going to say, here we are again, and it's another month that the Ukrainian war goes on. Continue to support the people of Ukraine fighting for their independence. Thank you, Madam President.
So much, Council Vice President. Mr. Mayor, looking fresh and relaxed. Please.
Thank you, Madam Council President. Summertime. I'll give you a real relaxed type of comments here. Fortunately, got to start off with just the recognition and condolences to two individuals who touched Monroe, touched the state of New Jersey, obviously the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, but also locally, Joseph Saul, the ex-chief from Monroe Township, epitome of volunteerism at its best. And obviously condolences must be given to them and especially their families. Veterans housing, obviously mentioned again, so very important, especially the way it was developed and built here in the town in regards to doing the best that you can with the affordable housing mandate. So obviously it was just a great event here for Monroe Township, something that we're all real proud of. Something that wasn't mentioned, I mentioned it, everyone mentioned everything. I got you. Summer camp. How's that? I got you.
Good.
So 900 kids, 5 weeks. I have to commend Mary Lang and Chris Sidler, but especially all of the camp counselors for what they were able to do in that period of time. There was some hot weather, my friends, and just to keep the children safe, the counselors safe, the volunteers safe, for those who were outside, I certainly commend them. But that number of 900, that was pre-pandemic numbers. So if there's any indication we're back, that's it. National Night Out, just a couple of quick comments in regards to that. Councilman DePiero mentioned about Mr. Weinberg and doling out hot dogs. So just be prepared for the budget next year if he's going to ask for a raise. However, we all know in the job description, it always as other duties as needed. Okay. So we'll try to just remember that one. Yeah. Thank you to the police department for coordinating yet another event. Obviously appreciate the fire districts coming in to participate, our EMS, DPW, and the rec department, and all of those who participated in that car show, which is always so very entertaining. Also was mentioned about the crime prevention presentation that our police have been continuing to do. This is not just the first two that have been going on. They have been going on now for the last year. I did attend the one at the senior center, well attended, great questions, great information, and it's empowering the residents to be part of that crime solving team, which I think is so very important. Quick update regarding the police and the equipment with new body cameras and tasers. Our patrol fleet are now equipped with the automatic license plate readers to detect those stolen vehicles and obviously protect our community. We also will be putting some stationary plate readers throughout the town this fall. And again, just one more tool in the toolkit to help solve and prevent crime. Another topic, two residents, Monroe residents, were recognized by the governor's volunteer award program. Diane Kellerhouse named the Community Pillar Award medalist for her work with the Ronald McDonald House, and a name that's very familiar with all of us. Nancy Fichtelberg was a Good Neighbor Award nominee for her work and founder of the Soup for Rossmore senior programs. And I just want to take that opportunity to say thank you to both. As was mentioned regarding BFI, it's unbelievable the ride that we all took, all of us here. And, you know, there's patting on the back and all that other stuff. But the patience shown the residents of that neighborhood, should not go, without saying, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for having faith in all of us to do what we needed to do and do the right thing. So, Joe, you know, wow, that's all I got to say. Wonderful. Let's see. Shared service agreement, Fire District 2. Want to thank them, for going into a contract with us. As we all know, it is a shared facility with the Fire District as well as our EMS services. Shared services, obviously, it helps with taxpayer money, and it also creates that partnership that we all strive to have, especially when it comes to emergency services. Off topic a little bit here, Anchor program. Pleased to report that Anchor program was renewed for the 2023/24 state budget, which just occurred. We expect Anchor applications will open later this fall, 2023, and we will again partner with our residents, partner with getting the information out through Facebook, e-blasts, as well as Senior Center and our library to ensure that you take advantage of that program. This is something that I know we all did the last couple of months in reminding you all about the Anchor. Well, it's here again, so we'll be ready to rock and roll once it starts. And again, just lastly, just want to congratulate, much like everyone else, Judy Olbreeze, and you know what she has accomplished done, the legacy that has been left here, the imprint of her soul for emergency services. Anytime that ambulance, that emergency services vehicle goes out, the essence of Judy Olbreys will be with that ambulance and all the people that will provide that first response service when needed. We will certainly be recognizing Judy at an upcoming council meeting, and also this coming Saturday, August 12th. There will be an event in her honor that we can all take that moment to just give her a hug and make her cry a little bit, and just throwing just wonderful things, which are so deservedly so. Thank you, Council President.
You, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for your reports this evening. I would like to open for public comments. I need a motion to open for public comments, folks, please.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that? Didn't say second.
Councilman
Oh,
DePiero.
second.
Councilman DePiero.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone wishing to address us, please come forward. Ma'am, I'm going to request, folks, that you please come forward. It's okay. And give us your name and address for the records, please. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each.
Hi, my name is Doreen Morris.
Yes, Doreen.
Is that? Oh, okay. I'm Doreen Morris, 134 Belluccio Street. Like I said, I've lived there my entire life. It's actually born on the street I live on.
Wow.
Regardless, I'm here today because the quality of my life here in Monroe has deeply changed within the last 3 to 4 years in a negative way by the amount of fireworks and explosions that have continued. We don't know really how to address these issues. We will call the police department and tell them, we're hearing these explosions going off. The fireworks are out of control to the point where we actually have to leave our home. We left our home for the 4th of July events that were going on. They're not controlled fireworks like, everybody in the day would go to Thompson Park or Spotswood Lake. Controlled, where you would know, okay, let's leave and go about our business. Now we're at the point where we're spending a lot of money to leave for 2 weeks only to come home and they continue. I would like to know is there anything that the township could do regarding this? The fireworks and the explosions are going off. There's the kids. So like I say, I grew up here, so I know all the woods in the back and all. Now, if you go down Texas Road and you're coming off of Monmouth Road, you make a left and you're headed towards the Wawa in Old Bridge. As soon as you go over it used to be a wooden bridge. It's now a cement bridge on the left. All the kids are riding their dirt bikes back there and quads. So it's really on the border of Monroe and Old Bridge, but it's technically Monroe. And so what they're doing is, because we walk back there, and they're taking these big, huge barrels and they're putting things in them and they're exploding. And there's another one on Forest Park that's doing it. I can't tell you who's doing it. I don't know, but it is affecting the quality of our life. It's dangerous. They are illegal. They're not lighting off sparklers or poppers. That's a real concern. It really is affecting our dog. It's affecting us. And a child lives behind us, and he also has autism, severe autism, and he's having a problem with it. Is there anything that the council what would be my next step? I mean, I don't know what to do, but really, it's a little bit much now.
Thank you.
It's not just 4th of July.
Mr. Weinberg, can you provide
Other folks
some-
can jump in, but I think
Yes,
I think really the only option that's available is to call the police department if you think it's excessive outside the noise hours or somehow crossing a line. The police will respond. They will look into it. Obviously, on July 4th, there is a lot of fireworks and can't be everywhere at every second. But if it's happening late into the night, they will follow up on your call and try and look into it. If it's deep in the woods, it's certainly candidly more complicated. But the police are the only folks who could really respond to a real-time request about what is basically like a fireworks violation.
Okay, I don't want to just go a tit for a tad, but I have called the police. We do have cameras all around the house. We have videos of some
have
of
the
people
police
doing
responded
them,
to your call?
and they do respond.
Yes.
And then as soon as they leave, they continue. They don't take the fireworks away or a fine or anything. They're just said, hey, stop it. And then a half hour later, they're going again.
Yeah, again, I think on 4th of July, obviously there's a little bit
That's
of
the 4th of July, but it's going on.
a little bit of leeway. If it's outside of 4th of July and it's really loud, you really are welcome to call the police. They do an excellent job of monitoring it. They will come out if it's out of control or a nuisance to the community, and try and get it under control. They're the right people to call in the situation.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And I have one more question so I don't use all my time. The solicitors that keep coming to the home. Now, we live in the Millick Manor area, and they're always coming. Now, just last week, someone had come, and like I said, I have cameras on the house. This guy tries to open our door. Now, he had a badge on himself, but I couldn't see the badge because I've seen through the ring. He tries to open the door, and then he'll ring the bell. Like, what is the town ordinance regarding so many people coming between people, tree people and solar people and yada people? I mean, we don't live in the time where, the Girl Scouts go knocking door to door to sell cookies anymore. Now we have strangers who are approaching our homes, knocking on our door and trying to open the door. And I know that they're not supposed to, but what is the ordinance regarding that?
There's an ordinance that requires you to have a permit. So if you find out that there's somebody who's doing that, that's something you definitely call the police about. And the purpose of having a permit is so that it's registered. We know who the responsible parties are. And if they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, for instance, trying to gain entry to your house, then, we pull permits. We cite them. It might be more than that, but so I think that's
We also have a do not knock list. So if you reach out to the clerk who's sitting next to the council president there,
that would prohibit anybody from they're required by their permit to abide by that list.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank everyone for their time, and if anyone could really address the fireworks problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be well. God bless.
Yes, sir. Your name and address for our records, please.
Gary Busman, 7 Monarch Road. Number one. Again, about 3 years ago, Mayor Tamburo created a committee to look into the proposal to create the veteran housing. The committee consisted of every type of professional that you could think of. There were engineers, there were attorneys, town planners, and a veteran. I was the appointed veteran. Therefore, I take much pride and much concern in the fact that the project, after 3 years, has now been started, and hopefully it will be completed very quickly, and that applications for this dwelling should be immediately started so that the veterans can have an opportunity to enjoy some quality housing. Second item is I want to thank the municipality and the MUTA for the road work that was done on Federal Road. I reside in the Stonebridge development, and there's been a pothole in front of the little farm that's been there for several months, which has been refilled, and now the road is safer than it was before. And the addition and the upgrading of the fire hydrant system has also been completed. So thank the township and all of its employees for the work that they have done to make Monroe a better place to reside in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And ma'am? Yes. Your name and address for our records, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joellen Arabito. I live at 22 Rossmore Drive. Just 2 questions, please. I just want to clarify the veterans. Is it 100% going to veterans or 80% going to veterans and 20% going to whomever.
Mr. Warner.
So this was part of our settlement with affordable housing. And so the 37 units that were originally part of the veterans housing are 100% veterans, and the other 43 units are veterans preference. And what that means is there will be veterans will get priority first, and only if no veterans apply, the units wouldn't be kept empty on the other 43. But the expectation is that it'll be all filled with veterans as long as veterans step forward to apply as part of the veterans preference component.
And actually, the veterans preference also applies to all of our affordable housing. So written in our affordable housing settlement is that for all of our affordable housing, there is a preference for veterans for a certain percentage.
Okay.
It's up to 50%.
All right. My second question, the volleyball courts. We all know there's a terrible drug epidemic going on in this country. Drug addicts and drug dealers like to go to areas like that. What time is the court open? What time is it closed? After it closes, will there be any type of supervision to make sure drug dealers are not enticing our youth to buy drugs over there?
So I believe, and Mark will correct me if I'm wrong, both locations do not have lights. So it's sunrise to sunset. So it won't be open during late hours of the night or anything. And obviously, as Councilman Vanzura said, this was something that the community asked for. Of course, finally, our police do patrol our parks, so they'll continue to keep an eye out. But it will only be open from dusk to dawn.
But at night, somebody will be over there to make sure no.
Yeah. Correct. Good question. So they still, even though the parks are closed at night, the police still patrol the parks. One of the reasons they're closed is because there's no lights in them. So,
which is actually better for the drug dealer, but. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Council President.
Sorry, go ahead.
And if I can just add, these are two existing parks today. The volleyball are just another amenity to those existing parks.
Right,
So
but more
parking
kids
lot
will
and
go to that.
They're patrolled regularly by the police. But again, we're adding these amenities to the existing parks.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you both. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward. Your name and address for our records, please, sir.
Tim Esso, 625 Spotswood Gravel Hill Road. I don't agree with 99.9% of the things that Mr. Markle does or did to get to the position, but I do have to commend you for what you did for that veteran. My hat is tipped to you for that. I commend that. If anybody knows who I am or knows what I stand for, I love our veterans and I'll do anything for them. I do want to make a point about the BFI situation. I want to make a point that, listen, I almost had to get waiters to come up here, Councilman Vanzura, but I wanted you to stand corrected that Mr. DiPiero was the first person to go over to BFI and to see the residents of Ward 3 and see what was going on there. There was a lot of complaints to him via text. There was a lot of complaints to us because, as you remember, that was a council year. That was a election year. So prior to that, I know he was getting multiple emails, multiple calls on what was going on. And I do have to commend Councilman DiPiero for taking the time out and visiting all those residents. I do know when they're there. The mayor was there as well. Councilman was there. Terry, you were there as well. Councilman Missouri was there as well. To obviously remedy this situation. It was long enough, but I'm glad at the end of the day that you all worked together in seeing that done. But I do tip my hat to Councilman DiPiero because I know he really spearheaded that whole situation. As well as we know, we have a lot of restaurants, here in Monroe Township, a lot of really good restaurants. And it's come to my attention, I've got to know a lot of the people in the Greenbrier development, and supposedly there's a restaurant there that's running a catering business. Now, I don't know if this is a public situation or whatever have you, but there's a restaurant called B Bistro, and I'd like to know if the residents outside of the gates are allowed to come and visit that restaurant. Does anybody know about that? I do understand that this gentleman as well is supposedly not paying any rent there, whatever have you. I do know a lot of the residents are aggravated, but I just want to know what the situation is in the town And I'd like the council, if the council could look into this, I'd like to get some answers on this. I need to know, is this gentleman not paying rent? Is he not paying utilities? Are they supposed to? It's private property. I understand that. Right. So on private property, where the people outside the H are not allowed to attend this restaurant, I guess? No?
You will.
I don't think anyone can go into anyone's private property without them inviting them to come in. Obviously, strip malls beg people to come in and eat there, but if something is your own property, they can't just walk in without an invitation. Right. I don't know, Lou, if you want to.
I don't know that I have the answer.
I have the answer.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, yes, I have the answer because I live there.
Okay.
And I will tell you that it has long been the policy when there is a restaurant in operation that if someone from outside the community wishes to come in, they need to call and make a reservation at said facility, and then their name will be transmitted to the gate for what appropriate time so that they may be let in through the security gates for the community.
I was told it was just a catering business. I wasn't sure what it was, but anyway, that's okay. Thank you for answering that.
You're most welcome.
President Cohen, appreciate that. With that said as well, I want to also reiterate on the streets, okay, and our Public Works Department for doing a fantastic job in Monroe. The town looks beautiful, as it always does, and kudos to our workers. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sir? Your name and
Good
address for
evening.
our records, please.
Joe Atanasio, 21 Wellington Place, Monroe. In January, I sent an email to the mayor and council expressing my concerns and other people's concerns about the construction and establishment of the McDonald's in Concordia Shopping Center. I never received an answer. However, I did receive a phone call from Kevin McGowan, which I really, really appreciated. And he explained to me the process of the application, which I already knew, but it was a nice conversation. What he didn't explain to me, was never in the conversation, was the fact that the applicant soliciting invitations from the adult communities to go in, make a presentation, and garner support. To the best of my knowledge, only one community responded, and I believe that was Greenbrier. I was at that meeting. It was well attended, and I can say of the full 35 people that came up and asked questions, there were 2 positive responses. In effect, for lack of a better term, the applicant got slammed. Further, it's been word around town that the applicant has been making statements like this, regardless of what the zoning board says. This is a done deal. Now, I ask you, members of council, please do not waste the residents of this town's time for going to these meetings by answering the following question. Regardless of what the zoning board says, to the best of your knowledge, is the construction of McDonald's in Concordia a done deal? Yes or no?
The answer is no. If they don't get their zoning board approval, they can't build it. So
thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Shell Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I have a couple questions. The BFI is a Superfund site, and if I understood it correctly, the Utilities Authority, the leach it now goes to the Middlesex County Utilities Authority?
No, it goes to the Middlesex. Yes, it goes to the MCUA in Sayreville. Correct. Ultimately, that's where the treatment plant.
And is there a treatment plan? I mean, where is that? Where is that? No. I'm glad there's a treatment plant. What kind of treatment does this stuff get? Does this go then into the Raritan River after they treat it?
I don't know where the outfall is, but the answer is it's treated to the same standard that all sewage is treated, and it's wherever the outfall is.
I hope it doesn't go into the Raritan River, because then we all suffer, including our waterways.
I don't believe it does, but I'm not sure.
I mean, because all that would be doing is transferring the damage of that Superfund site from a community to the
But
whole.
the leachate always went there. The difference now is that it used to go into a sewer that had on it all the laterals for all of the homes in that community.
Okay.
Now what we've done is we've put a force main so it goes from there to a pump station and then to
Okay.
MCUA without being,
All right.
without there being any
Thank you.
lateral.
I would also make an appeal for us to upgrade the cable access to the citizens of Monroe. I don't always use YouTube. I don't always have it, but I do put the television on and watch the cable. So I would ask you to get that done. It's a public service. It's good for the community and it's informative for most of the citizens. So I would very much appeal to the council to work that out and get that up as soon as possible, especially before school starts. Councilman Van Dora was talking about how resolutions get understood and how things go. When I believe Mr. Van Dora said that there's discussion of the resolutions prior to the meetings. Is that with the council or is that on an individual basis?
It is with, well, it's sometimes more than one council person. It's never a majority of the council, obviously.
So you're not doing it in quorum?
Correct.
Quorum,
In other
correct.
words, we're not violating the law. That's correct.
Okay, but the Open Publics Meeting Act does say that the public has a right to hear the deliberations. So if questions are being asked in private and you guys are just getting these resolutions, just voting yes, it is very rare, with the exception of Mr. DePiero, which I'm grateful for. It is very rare for the majority of this council to either ask a question about it or vote no on something. The Open Public Meetings Act says the public, I think it's in the first paragraph, has a right to hear the deliberation of their elected officials. That has not gone on in this community for years. I don't need an answer. It's a statement. I have a couple other questions. So I think it's dangerous for us not to see how these things are brought up. And I think, in terms of the veterans. My husband is a veteran of Vietnam. My brother-in-law is dying from the dangers of Agent Orange, also from Vietnam. So it's very important to me that our veterans are honored. It does bother me that if the 37 out of 80 is fulfilled, we may lose the housing, regardless, even if it's called housing preference for veterans. I would like to see this council tell the third party, because the council doesn't rent it or doesn't get involved in that housing. I would like to see this council make a special effort to hold off as long as possible. Because let's face it, the people who are building it are doing it for profit. I don't think it's a nonprofit. I think it's a profitable construction project. So it is very important that the veterans are top priority, and I would like to see all 80 units. And I think there's people who are, everybody's shaking their head about how wonderful, and they're giving all kinds of accolades and kudos to the veterans. Well, let's really put our money where our mouth is and make sure 80 of those units are for veterans. And I believe it could be for veterans' families as well. So if not for the veterans' family, I think we should make a commitment to that. And if the construction or the developer has to wait a little longer for that to happen, we certainly, all we hear is how important it is for affordable housing. We're totally overbuilding in Monroe because the reason is we need affordable housing. Well, let us wait until all the veterans fill that 80 units. So
I get you. Maybe you didn't hear what I said before. It's not just this project that has a veterans preference.
I understand.
It's every affordable housing development in the, not just 100%, but every one of them. Right. So if somebody has a set aside of 50 units, there's a veterans preference for it. So there's a preference for, I don't know how many, there's 1,399 units in the plan. There's a veterans preference for all of those units. And we're very, we're strict about enforcing that.
But we're already taking credit for putting this veterans housing up. Let's take credit for filling it with 80 veterans and their families.
Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward now. May we have your name and address for our records, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm Beth DePiro, 404 Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, Monroe Township. Who owns the property that the veterans housing is going to be built on?
Well, we own it.
We own
It's a 99-year lease.
So you leased it to the builder?
Correct.
We're getting paid monthly or yearly from them?
No, it was part of our affordable housing settlement that's part of our contribution to it, is to give them the property so that they could build the units.
So we're not making any money out of this, and this is our property.
And nor would we want to. What we want to is to have all of the money plowed back into the development to provide housing for veterans.
But it's not
if we
only...
required them to pay lease, they'd have to build less houses, and we didn't want them to do that. It's part of our Mount Laurel settlement. And remember, part of it is we also contribute, the township is also subsidizing it. So we put our land up and we also put money up to get these developments to happen as part of our.
But the builder is getting money for the units that they sell or
They're
rent.
not selling it, they're renting them. So, but the point of it is it's subsidized, it's government subsidized housing. If we didn't subsidize it, they'd build less units. We wanted them, they're actually building, the plan calls for 37. They're actually building 80 units because we were able to get them to build more units. But there's no mistake about it. It is government subsidized. We are not looking to make a profit on this. It makes no sense
How did we
for us to give them, it's Affordable Housing Trust Fund money. Us to give them money, I think it's $12 million to help.
Did we have to buy that property
I
at
think
one
we owned
point?
it already.
No, it was given. It was part of the settlement with Kay Hovnanian. We got that money, and to your point, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund money, which is not money from the taxpayers, but the 2% fee that people pay when they come in to do it. And the other key point to it, as was mentioned, as is important to note, as many of you know, one of the challenges in affordable housing is when a developer comes forward and builds housing, and I don't want to take up your time, but they get the 4-to-1 ratio, and that's across the entire state. When we build our own affordable housing using the money that we've collected from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, there's no 4-to-1 ratio. So when we build these 80 as part of our settlement, we are precluding 320 market rate units from being built. And it would be great if we could build them all the affordable units ourselves, but that amount of money would be, almost incomprehensible, which has been discussed before.
Are we getting any money at all from this?
No,
So we are getting some. We are getting.
We're subsidizing.
Just subsidized. So you're getting
The answer is we're using the money that we get from developers and the land we got from developers, and we're helping create veterans housing. It's government subsidized housing. We're not allowed under the affordable housing regulations for us to then get an income stream from this. The whole purpose of it, when you use the Affordable Housing Trust Fund monies, is to create a project that creates housing, not for us to develop an income stream. That's not what this is.
Mr. Weinberg.
Yep. And we leveraged our money to go along with affordable housing tax credits from the New Jersey HMFA, as well as other state funding through the state budget. So our money's being matched, with state funds. That's what got us from 37 to 80. And that's what's had us from saving just 37 times 4 market rate units to 80 times 4 market rate units, is leveraging the state resources through the HMFA.
Well, just to reiterate, we should really just try to keep it to veterans.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I am going to entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. Motion, please.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that,
Second.
please. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. This meeting is hereby adjourned.
It's